Hellmaster EX. This award-winning system features the first single-engine joystick with digital electric steering and new autopilot capability. See Hellmaster EX in action at a Yamaha Outboard dealer or visit YamahaOutboards.com.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Each new dawn brings hope. Hope leads to effort, and with effort comes opportunity. That's Wednesday morning, sunup along my home stretch in Bayhead. Hard to tell from the video, but a bit of a heave sweeping northward. Reminded me of a hot dog on the streets of New York City. Dirty water, some cabbage, mucking things up a bit. In fact, if you're throwing trebles or teasers, you had the cabbage all over it. Yet as the sun broke the horizon, you could see the birds in the fleet just off the beach. Adult bunker and big stripers piling on bait. Now, a buddy of mine, speaking with friends who are working this particular stretch of which I speak, called them super giants. It's not a spot burn. It's a movable feast this time of year. They're there, they're here, then they're not, they're over there. No telling where they're going to pop up along the way during this fall run. I'm Jim Hutchinson, New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. It's Halloween. Time for Spooks, October 31st. Just about. As soon as these bunker and bass move a little tighter. I'm a little north of where I was this morning. But that body of big fish sliding down the beach right now, Monmouth County, Ocean County, who knows where the next score is going to be. But clearly the boats are having a little better luck of late, finding a solid bite. My buddy Nick was one who talked to the friends along that farther south stretch in Ocean County, called them super giants in the mix. But to the north of me, where I am in Monmouth County now, just somewhere up off of Sandy Hook, was Chuck Manny, called them mega jumbo bass. That described the stripers he's finding off northern Monmouth County, off around the Sandy Hook area. And he's putting out those live eels under planer boards. Actually, congrats to Chuck and the Wakefield boys this week, who deployed yet another mini-pat satellite tracking tag into a jumbo striper in hopes of learning a little bit more about how and where some of these mega jumbos travel during the fall and winter months. You can learn more about the Northeast Striped Bass Study with the Fisherman magazine, Gray Fish Tag Research, and all our sponsors. You'll find it posted at thefisherman.com. Go up under the main headings and you'll find Striped Bass Study. Melissa Danko from the Marine Trades Association of New Jersey, she got on them over the weekend, headed north out of Manasquan Inlet. She was fishing with husband Mike and her son Cole. It was Cole who got his now personal best, one that he's going to have to break in the coming days. But the Danko clan, like I said, headed north out of Manasquan, throwing artificials. But I'll bet at this point, heading into this weekend, it's a matter of north or south. As you get farther south into Ocean County, obviously, the guys heading out of Barnegat Inlet might say, we're heading north. Another super giant mega bass to report this week. Bob Croker of Old Bridge was fishing aboard Joe Massa's boat, My Three Sons, on Sunday with Guy Tallarico and Bob's brother. They were 2 miles out of Long Branch, caught and released this 52-inch striped bass. Mega jumbos. Big stripers are off the beaches. Think 1 to 2 miles or just outside of where I'm standing now, someplace in Monmouth County. But you go from 1 to 2 miles, it's all striped bass. You go from 1.5 to 3 miles, I guess, and you get a mix of bluefin. And then outside the 3 mile line forbidden zone for striped bass, that's where you pick up on some of these bluefin. So the bluefin bite has been pretty good, and there are a ton of them. It's better action, of course, in the northern range we speak about up here above Barnegat Light. On Facebook this week, I saw where Chris Black posted about bluefin off the beach, Central Jersey, casting no live bait needed straight tails on a Jigging World 200G Black Widow popping rod with Twin Power 14K. Shaping up to be quite the season on the inshore grounds, and hopefully, folks, in Atlantic and Cape May counties as well are ready for that hope, effort, and opportunity. I know Andy at Riptide Bait and Tackle, he said most of the better striper action there is still that outback bite. He said the crew from Tremendous Sport Fishing of Atlantic City put Anthony here on back bay stripers this week using live spot they picked up at Riptide Bait and Tackle. As for bluefin, yeah, they're in the mix in South Jersey as well. The crew from Purple Fever, Steve, John, Gino, Billy, and Anthony brought in a 71-inch, 194-pound bluefin tuna to Sea Isle Bait and Tackle earlier this week. So if the bluefin are on the bait in South Jersey, I can only imagine the stripers are in the mix as well. Bait, surf-wise, at this point, you should be willing to adapt and improvise on the fly. Some days it's sand eels. Got a message from Adam Aguiar. He's still night crawling, night creeping, working the night shift and doing well. He just doesn't speak about where he is. He said he got a 40-pounder at night this week, but he spoke about Grant Johnson, one of his former students. It might still be a student there at Stockton University. Anyway, Grant with a North Country striper on a tsunami sand eel. So that little sand eel flurry that pops up early morning and late in the afternoon right before dusk, it could pop up at any time up and down the Jersey Shore. Don't know where, don't know when. Sometimes you got to work those pockets to find out. But you want those sand eel imitations. The tsunami sand eel is great. 7-8 inch, fantastic. You also have the Ava jigs, the Deadly Dicks with their issued hooks swapped out. I don't use those hooks that I get on the Deadly Dicks or the Slim Waves for stripers. I'll swap them out for singles. And of course the teasers will run into problem, like I said before, when you have too much dirty water. You have that cabbage in the water. Learn more in the November edition of the Fisherman magazine about sand eels and a lot more. It's out now with a few days left before November, so you got a full month of action in there. But Scotty Sevens is on the cover commemorating the tog season coming up. Our limit goes up to, 5 fish on November 16th. Now you do have that 1 fish limit in play right now. It's especially appropriate in jetty country to the northern part of the state, but all those inlet rocks and some of the canal rocks as well, producing a few table fish right now if you're interested. But you turn to the glossy table of contents for the November edition, you'll find our lineup of stories to get you into the thick of things right now and through the month of November. Tog, stripers, tiger, muskie, tuna, it's all in there. On glossy page 6, I tackle that sand eel flurry, the sand eel bite, and what you need to know. What I like for scoring in the suds this time of year and all the way through December and into January, when the sand lances are burrowing or coming out of the sand, as the case may be. Of course, that's not to say it's the only bait in town. Sand eels are not the only bait, because now we're heavy duty into the bunker run. Peanuts, the little young of the year class, the mid-range cupcakes, and the adult bunker as well. In actuality, what I saw along a stretch a little north of here earlier this week, it told me, well, just like you're seeing here, you can see the Mimi back behind me. Like Bob Euchre used to say, that's just a bit outside. But soon enough, my friends, soon enough. That said, turn to page 34. Inside the Fisherman magazine, New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition for Nick Honichesky's Wild November Surf. It's about that time when we should see that awe-inspiring visual bonanza, the bunker blitzes, the all-out bunker mayhem. You want to be geared up for that madness. Nick helps you sort all that out, and just in time, I believe, from now until those Thanksgiving blessings, we should see that bunker busting bass madness at the Jersey Shore. Other features you'll find inside the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition. Frank Mahalik got tog tips if you're looking for a double-digit personal best. Captain Connor McLeod on some catch and release striper tactics as far as making sure your fish is released as healthy as possible. Scott Newall has a message for you folks in Atlantic and Cape May counties that soon enough that bite will be in place, and then you'll have it all the way through into the new year. And of course, Tom Paggs lays out our fall stock report. Rainbow madness goes with striper madness. You might want to live line a rainbow trout if that's what you wish. The rainbow trout action in the Garden State is it's up and running. All the stocking is going on right now, so you can get all the details there. One thing I would add this week, when the bass do start crashing bunker in tight to our beaches, are tight enough, when they're just a little bit farther out than you can capably handle, even with your favorite pencil, with your biggest plastic swim shad, especially with the metal lips, don't forget the OG, the Hopkins and the Hopkins Shorty. I know some plug purists who may turn their nose up at the idea of a Hopkins Shorty at the end of the line, but when you're trying to get casting distance and you see those bunker that are breaking just beyond the breakers, you'll be happy that you had one. I bumped into Paul and Rick earlier this week. Or was it Paul and Ray? I don't know. It was Paul that I remember because he had the fish. The other guy didn't. But he had at his feet in Monmouth County, he was using a metal when those bunker were getting blitzed by stripers and just came in range. Had himself a nice dinner fish, solid 30-incher. And I know the bigger overs are in the mix because like I talked about, everything that we're hearing, the super jumbos, the mega jumbos, the super giants, they're on the mix. A lot of adult bunker now moving down the beach, and those peanuts are in the mix as well. Where they will hit the beach at this point, it's still a mystery. Always is. Could be happening behind me as I speak to you right now. I don't know. Bottom line, you can chase the reports or you can make them. On this week's Open Boat, Jenni hits you surfcasters dead between the eyes, gets you into some motivation. When's the best time to fish, you might ask? Whenever you have the opportunity, is my quick answer. You never know what day it's going to be when the fall run gets crazy.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat. Back here on the windy beach, of course. We are going to be talking about some motivation for you guys to get out there on the surf. Modern age of technology, a lot of people are sitting there doom scrolling on InstaFace looking for stripers being caught off the surf, and that's their sign to go fishing. None of that, no more. Don't chase reports, make them. I am challenging you guys to go fishing after you watch this video. If you haven't even been out there yet, send it. No more excuses. Stop waiting for someone else to catch your trophy fish of the season. Be the first alarm striper. Very similar to what happened for me last year on October 10th when I caught a 49-incher off the surf. So that could be you. Just send it. Go ahead. Get out there. I'm out here in the blowing wind because if it's blowing, we're going. If I have free time, I'm sending it. And so should you. I'll see you guys out there, and hopefully you're on a beach near me when you catch your 50-pounder, because I would love to see it. It's your turn now. Go out there and get some fish. I'll see you guys on next week's Open Boat.
Now, until December 31st, Tsunami is giving away a Salt X waterproof backpack when you purchase a new Salt X2 reel. With its 19 seals and machined aluminum frame, the rugged Salt X2 can conquer any fishing condition you may face. Check out the QR code for all the details.
With 3 convenient in-water locations, Waterfront Marine has one of the largest inventories on the East Coast of premium brand boats. Their exceptional service department, fully stocked parts department, and ship store will ensure smooth sailing after the sale. Visit our 3 locations or online.
Weather watchers, looks like diminishing winds and lighter seas as we head into this very first weekend of November. A November that I hope is one to remember. That National Weather Service forecast bodes well for those looking to line the rails of their favorite party boat, head boat, this coming weekend. Like I said, I know the Mimi's out here fishing for stripers, while many of the multi-passenger vessels on the Raritan and out of Shark River and the Manasquan are providing patrons with access to the outstanding striped bass bite just off these beaches. Many are also headed offshore for black sea bass and porgies, especially the northern part of the range, more so porgies in North Jersey. Yet as you head down into Atlantic and Cape May counties, boats like the Starfish out of Sea Isle, for example, they are loading up on the sea bass for their customers this week and assuredly in the weekend ahead. Again, I want to remind you subscribers to the Fisherman magazine that sea bass category is practically wide open right now. And a 4 to 5 pound sea bass or better, I'm pretty sure with just 1 month to go in that contest, you should stay on the board because there's like 8 spots open. And that's going to get you a prize. You're competing for that Steiger package with the Yamaha and the Minn Kota. But as long as you're on the board with that big biscuit, it's a good chance you're going to win.
And now the Dream Boat Fishing Challenge entries for the week. It's Halloween, and here's the latest from the Dream Boat Fishing Challenge with only 4 weeks left. Ahmed Solomon, Long Island subscriber from Brooklyn, New York, ups his leaderboard score by 1 point with a porgy coming in at 3 pounds, placing him second in the porgy division. The week ends with the leaderboard looking like this. 16 points for Kyle Kraus, staying the same. Ahmed Solomon with 19 points and gaining on Scott Waterman. And Scott Waterman has 25 points. There are 4 weeks left, still plenty of time to enter your fish to win a Steiger Craft powered by Yamaha and many other great prizes, but you must be a Fisherman subscriber to enter. For all the details on how to enter and the rules, visit thefisherman.com. There were no new entries in the Coastal Kayak Clash this week, so the standings remain the same. Todd Treones has 4 points, Bob Wagner has 9 points, and Justin Oser has 10 points. To be part of the Coastal Kayak Clash and for your chance to win the Old Town Sportsman PDL 120 fully outfitted by yakattack.com and other great prizes, you must be a Fisherman subscriber. For all the details on how to enter and rules, visit thefisherman.com.
Other head boat options for you in the week ahead now include offshore tuna fishing. Offshore weather midweek has not been kind to those pushing towards the edge. Several trips were canceled heading into Halloween, but the National Weather Service forecast from the Hudson to Baltimore looks good into the weekend and to start your election week. I know that Miss Barnegat Light, she runs her last tuna trip this Saturday, but the last check, she was all filled up. She did cancel 1 trip this week. I know the Big Jamaica also pulled the plug for a Halloween trip, but returns to the edge on Monday. That boat out of Brielle was out on Tuesday with a crew calling it the best trip of the season. So yeah, quite a few head boats at the Jersey Shore are running to the edge for tuna in the coming weeks. If you want to take advantage of that, it's a good thing to do. A quick reminder to folks of you folks who are not running a 125-foot head boat, but more in line with something 25, 26 feet. You'll read it on page 6 of this month's edition, the November edition of the Fisherman magazine. That PFD requirement is in place again as of Friday, November 1st. Remember, from November 1st through May 1st, when you're on board a boat less than 26 feet in length in New Jersey, you must be wearing a U.S. Coast Guard approved personal flotation device, a PFD, whenever that boat is underway. That law went into effect for the 23-24 season, but it remains in effect as we head into 24 and 25. I don't know if enforcement folks are going to be as amenable to that warning this year as they were last year. So remember that, that's for your safety, but it is law. I'll rip another page or two out of the November edition in about 2 minutes. But first, let's head west. We'll check in with my buddy George, Pocono Outdoors Guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, this time next week, I'm really hoping to be back out wetting a line with you guys. But 1 more week, getting better with the surgery I just had. But I'll tell you what, things are a little bit weird right now. It's Thursday. You know, tomorrow is actually November, and we're sitting here with temperatures close to 80 degrees. Well, if that's got you confused, guess what? The fish are probably just as confused as well. You know, that puts a lot of pressure on the fish, and they act a lot different. They get a lot of lockjaw. A couple of guys did catch some fish. My friend Josh Taylor, well, he got some monster catfish, a 33-inch channel cat out of Beltsville. I couldn't ask for more than that. It's a beautiful fish there, and congratulations on a Master Angler Award for that. But he said things are chewing a little bit. They're feeding up for the winter when you can get them, but the bite is tough. Also out in the Delaware, Tim Keeber, he had some guests out getting some smallmouth as well, but it's the same thing. He said you really had to work for every fish. With this weather, guys, it's going to get cold really quick, and it might pay to start dusting off those vertical jigs, those metal jigs, those blade baits. It's a time of year they're going to start being really, really productive on some of these fish. You can sharpshoot them, find them on your sonar. Good news is if you don't have a boat and you're actually fishing from shore, break out those jerk baits. Those fish that are up really shallow are probably hungry and chewing. So if you throw a jerk bait or something like that, you can probably get yourself on a few nice fish. Guys, drop me a line and let me know how you're making out. But for now, get out and get on them. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
Battle 4.
One thing we do at the Fisherman magazine better than anybody else out there is we cover news and events related to recreational fishing throughout the region. Honestly, you won't find a calendar of events like ours anywhere. Check it out. It spans page 8 and 9 along with some news briefs in that November edition of the Fisherman magazine. But I bring it up to you because there's still time to register for some of those season-long tournaments that you see in the calendar of events. You've got the Atlantic County Surf Fishing Derby, that runs through November 24th. Same with the LBI Surf Fishing Classic, that runs through December 8th, as does the Riptide Bait and Tackle Derby that's going on. Noel at One Stop Bait and Tackle, he's got an ongoing contest as well. But in that calendar of events, you will see this weekend that New Jersey Beach Buggy Association members will be out in force along the beaches competing for that coveted President's Cup at Island Beach. So keep that in mind if you're doing a little run and gun session along the Island Beach State Park stretch this weekend, and you see a bunch of, oh, look at, there must be a blitz. No, it's the NJBBA guys competing for the President's Cup. For boaters, you also have the Jersey Coast Shark Anglers. They're running their second annual Catch and Release Striper Tournament. It starts on Saturday, November 2nd. It runs all the way through next Saturday, November 9th. Captain's meeting is this Friday at club headquarters in Brick. That's on Herbertsville Road. You can download the application and get all the tournament details by going to jcsa.org. Finally, one more editorial piece I'd like to point out in the November edition. That's my editor's log, Stinkin' Badges. Do you remember the story from up this stretch in northern Monmouth County over the summer? The surfer that got tackled by a cop because the surfer mouthed off because he didn't have the badges. It was a big sticky wicket. Well, there's a legislative effort underway in Trenton right now to exempt surfers and surfcasters from beach badge requirements at the Jersey Shore. My thanks to George Brown, activist for Access, NJBBA, Berkeley Striper Club, JCAA. He helped shepherd this along. Details are in that editorial in the November edition, but if you want to participate in a grassroots political action the way it should be leading up to Tuesday's election, call your district office in New Jersey and encourage your assembly rep to sign on and support Assembly Bill A4816. So we don't need no stinking badges ever again for accessing the high tide line and celebrating that public trust doctrine and our rights as Americans and folks who just want to get to the ocean. That bill, by the way, is sponsored by Monmouth County legislator Margie Donlin, Assemblywoman Margie Donlin of District 11. It's co-sponsored by Assemblyman Michael Teresi of Burlington County, District 8. Let's see how many more co-sponsors we can get on behalf of improved access to the surf. Get more news, information, how-to articles, and hotspots, along with a listing of the for hire boats sailing this fall their schedules and the tackle shops up and down the Jersey Shore that are just waiting to gear you up. As Jenni mentioned earlier in this week's video fishing forecast, do not read the reports. Don't wait for the reports. Go out and make them. Eventually, I know that these bunker that have been behind me, they're going to start blowing up. They're going to start getting blown up by stripers. I hope that you're there when it happens. I hope that I'm there when it happens. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on the beach.